This is Tim from Design Thinking Games, and I wanted to just kind of walk you through the game Thirst that we are about to have up on Kickstarter. We actually use a tool called Figma, put in works, prototypes, and do our notes, and we've structured it left to right, kind of the history of the game. It took a while, but by the time we got to like what we originally took to PAX Unplugged 2 years ago, which was, the victims of the cards, these are the city tiles. By synthesizing those playtest notes, we actually went through and thought, okay, these are the takebacks what we wanted from the game, what people enjoyed, how to improve it. And from that, we started kind of incrementally improving the game, graphics and the rules. The first iteration of the rules was just like a 4-page folder by 4x by 4x panel. And, we eventually got to the point where we actually had coffins for player cards. And this is how you would keep track of actions and blood points. We had to get more playtest notes. And from synthesizing those playtest notes, we had a lot of table assets still, and people loved the game, loved the feel, thought we could clean up the table mess, simplify things. And so that's when we kind of did this kind of dedicated design sprint to get closer to the current look. Which is what the box experience would be like. We really worked out, okay, what our feel is a film noir, a horror comic is the feel that we're going for. We have someone we worked with for the logo, and like our font and our color palettes. That's when we started to then come back and it started to all click, right? And then, of course, you playtest to death, right? And so, from these final asset cards of like, okay, this is now what dark powers look like. This is now what influence looks like. When you have a consequence that affects the city. What the final coffins would look like with our characters, Cassandra, Gabriella, Renault, and Zaslav. This is kind of the feel of what the images would look like for the prey. Tracker for the sun and the moon when you kind of flip over to the day and night orders of the game. Still working on the rulebook, but now we're looking at a trifold, so it'll be a 4x4 kind of trifold with front and back, which is nice. And then we keep playtesting, and so here's more data playtesting notes. So we playtested at PAX, Unplugged, and then we would Unpub Prime, and so all of these sticky notes are really kind of checklists and prototypes and how kind of Mike and I keep track of. We're on like the 9th version or 10th or 11th iteration of the game, where we started to do print games, to get print prototypes. Asking for that soon of people who want to be playtesters, who actually want to try out the game, be blind playtesters is really what we need. That'll be shared in a future post. The tweaks that we're doing now are based on manufacturing pricing. One of the final things that we're seeing if we can do, is, we have tokens that are all of these cool different shapes like you see here, as opposed for your vampires and your minions. What coolness can we do with the box? And so we're kind of looking at like when you open the box, it's a blood dripping experience. Excited, things are moving very fast, and it's kind of it's all happening. So fingers crossed and stay tuned.